Well, kia ora and welcome into the Harness Half Hour, proudly brought to you by HRNZ Marketing. Our guests today are Phil Creighton, Regan Todd, Raelene Balle, Kirstin Barclay and bookmaker Richard Wilson. Plus, we announce the winner of our $250 New Zealand Horse Transport Voucher. But first, here's today's headlines. Princess Tiffany gained superlatives Australasia-wide after her dominating win in the Breeders' Crown on Saturday night. Despite having to sit parked for the majority of the race, Princess Tiffany was able to extend her perfect record. We talk soon to co-owner Phil Creighton. North Canterbury trainer Regan Todd collected his first Group 1 win as a trainer when he prepared Showgate to win her Breeders' Crown final on Saturday night. Driven by Mark Purdon, Showgate has now won 6 of her 12 career starts. Lazarus has drawn Barrier 2 in the Canadian Pacing Derby this coming Sunday New Zealand time. The race will be broadcast on Trackside 2 between 1:30 and 2 p.m. And following the Masara report announcement on Thursday at Claudelands, Winston Peters will be at Cambridge Raceway at 7:30 p.m. for a low-key speech and Q&A session in the Alf Walsh Lounge. Well, we've got the privilege today of being joined by Phil Creighton, of course, co-owner of Princess Tiffany. Phil, congratulations on the massive win in the weekend. What are the emotions like now?
Oh, we're still probably on cloud nine. It was a stunning performance. And looking at the replay, she was pretty tough to sit outside and do what she did. And we've looked at the time she ran, and she ran a second quicker than the 2-year-old colt. And sitting parked, yeah, it was stunning, Jess, and we are very, very happy.
Phil, can you take us right back to when the association began with the White Locks, and how did this all begin, this Princess Tiffany journey?
Oh, well, I had, it goes back to Isabella, which we still have at home, and she left Dancing Diamonds, and Dancing Diamonds went through the sales, and there was a disputed bit, so we ended up in partnership with Caroline and Braden Whitelock. That was the end result from the sale. So we raced Dancing Diamonds together, and now we're racing Princess Tiffany together.
My goodness, so did you have any association with them beforehand, or was it quite a fortuitous meeting that way?
It was, an introduction came through Mark Purdon, and I met him at the Auckland Trotting Club one night, and the arrangements was made, yeah.
Fantastic. And I guess the journey that you're on already is extremely special.
Oh, it's becoming very special now, yes. This filly is just, well, it gives you a new lease of life. She's just stunning, and she is becoming very special.
You've been associated, Phil, with harness racing for quite some time now, but can you tell us exactly where did it all begin? Where did the bug start for you?
Oh, we would have started with purchasing a yearling filly called Vivid Rainbow, and I bought a mare called Mia Mocker, and it just developed from that on selling, and then I was lucky enough to get associated with Phil Creighton in the Purdon stable, and the syndicate we call the Major Mark Syndicate. I think the syndicate to date's won something like 21 Group 1 wins, so that's really cemented the interest.
My goodness. And did you have an introduction to harness racing early on? Where was your first introduction to the sport, Phil?
Oh, no, just from going to Forbury, and the business was good, so I bought the mare called Vivid Rainbow, and I was certainly given the message at home that there'd only be one horse, we're not going to have any more. And it's reversed now. If I say I want to sell something, I've got to say, no, that's part of the family, that stays. So, and a lot of success has been her, because I'm away with my work, and she has a TLC with these horses, which is very special.
Do you find that it's even more special given, you're based in Mosgiel and Forbury Park being your first touching point for harness racing, but do you think, being able to travel to places like, well, the Breeders' Crown, but also Addington and win makes it even more special for you?
Oh, the winning at Addington's a special place. We do have a pretty good association with winning at Melton. That was our third Breeders' Crown victory, so... and they look after you pretty good over there, and beating the best in Australia adds another bit special to it.
Phil, looking through the list of some of the horses you've been associated with, and most recently the sale of Heaven Rocks to the United States, was that kind of a bit of a bittersweet experience, given that he's going so well over there now too?
Oh no, we were advised he wasn't the easiest horse to train, and the advice we got was we should take the offer and move on, and I have no regrets in that department, no.
I guess it's that kind of business, isn't it? Even though you get so emotionally tied up in racing horses, you do have to be quite pragmatic at times.
Oh yeah, well each year they replace the sales by buying 2 or 3, so you have to have the money to move on. Yeah,
exactly, and it potentially a very exciting time for you coming up in November with Ultimate Machete.
Yes, he's about a fortnight away from the trials, and he's looking stunning. Yeah, we've got our hopes up there.
And with having the success that you've had so far, what would a New Zealand Cup mean?
Oh, that might just be the icing on it. That might top it off, but it's gonna be good. Take a bit of topping off this Princess Tiffany. You know, being from the family at home and having bred the dam and the second dam, that's very close to us.
Phil, have you been overwhelmed by the support you've had with the association with Princess Tiffany and the accolades that she's been receiving recently?
Yeah, well, I knew she was a nice filly, and then at the Harness Jewels, what she did that day, I thought, oh, you are a bit special. And Natalie has been, she communicates very well, and Natalie had said to me, this horse, I can tell you the wee story because I was overseas, and I come home and she was paying $2.80 on the tote for the Harness Jewels, and when I got home, she was down to about $1.85. And I said to Natalie, goodness Natalie, she's dropped from $2.80 to $1.95. And Natalie's reply was, that's because she's that good, Phil. So that was a nice touch.
Yeah, I guess, you know, you can hear that kind of feedback from a trainer with the esteem, such as Natalie Rasmussen, but yeah, this filly seems to just go out and shout it from the rooftops.
Yeah, well, Mark has made a comment to me that she's exceptional, and she's only average size, but she's got a toughness. To tough it out like she did the other night, that's super.
Is that something, Phil, that is typical of this family? Is that a trait from the mare's line?
No, I think they've had speed, but they've never shown the toughness that this filly's shown. So it's probably a combination of Art Major and the family, I think. It's just one out of the box.
Oh, that's to understate it somewhat. Well, congratulations, Phil. I know you're a busy man, you're on the road, and potentially some remarkable months coming up for you, Margaret, and the team. So thank you very much for your time, and congratulations once again.
Oh, thanks, yes. Very good.
Time now for our social media headlines, and starting off with New Zealand, Princess Tiffany and Showgate gain a huge following on our social media after their crown wins. Cup tickets go on sale next Monday. Follow at Addington Raceway for the latest news there. From Australia, Cruz Bromack will join the All-Stars team for a tilt at the New Zealand Cup. Follow Chris Barsby on Twitter for more information there. From the US and Canada, Dexter Dunn collected his first win this year on US soil when winning with Ma Was Right at Lexington, Kentucky on Sunday, New Zealand time. You can follow the Red Mile for more information. And congratulations to this month's competition winner. The winner of a $250 New Zealand Horse Transport Voucher to be used on inter-island travel has been won by Dave Iamanga. Well, the man of the moment, Regan Todd, of course, training Showgate to win Breeders' Crown Glory over the weekend. Regan, I understand you're still across the ditch. Have you come back down from Cloud 9 yet?
I might be up there for a few days yet, Jess. No, it was pretty special, so we'll make the most of it. But no, it's been really good the past couple of days.
I'd imagine so. And how are you filling your time as you come back down from Cloud 9? Are you visiting a few people?
Yeah, we've been pretty lucky with the people we've been staying with over here. We stayed at McCarthy's to start with, and went down to Shepparton to Dave Farrer's, so we've worked the last 2 weeks. And then tomorrow we're going out to Emma Stewart's and Anton Galino's and those sort of places. So it'd be great to have a look around and see how they operate.
Fantastic. And just harking back to Saturday night, the journey that you've had with Showgate, would you ever have dreamed that it would wind up in Group 1 glory?
No, you always dream of things like that. Yes, that's what keeps you in the game and makes you get out of bed in the morning. But yeah, she's always been a nice filly. But yeah, to pull it off is pretty special for us. Can
you tell our listeners, Regan, how on earth did she come to end up in your stable doors?
Oh, it's very, very lucky. She had to get some bone tips taken out of her knees as a yearling. So and Mark and Nat thought they'd do the best by the horse and send her out to the beach. And yeah, I was lucky. I got the phone call. So yeah, it's sort of just gone from there, really.
You've worked with some very knowledgeable trainers, the likes of Mark Jones and people who have mentored you, Regan, and you've been very vocal about the support that they've given you. But when someone like Mark Purdon or Natalie Rasmussen sends a horse your way, is it a little bit terrifying for a while?
Yeah, you sort of pinch yourself every now and then. But yeah, at the end of the day, you're there to do the job, and yeah, when they send you your horses, well, you just got to do your best, and I think that's the best thing about winning the other night is, you know, it's good to win for them. You know, for your faith they showed to me to give me the horse to train was the best thing.
Regan, you've got a wonderful reputation in the way in which you turn your horses out and present yourself as well. Have you found since this success on Saturday night that you've had a lot more people knocking on your door, ringing you up, and what's the feedback been like?
The phone's gone flat a lot of times, but it's funny you say. I was looking at the phone. I've still got about 110 text messages to go through yet. So yeah, it's good. As you know, everyone. Best thing about it, you know, everyone down themselves, and you know they've been the biggest followers from being down there, and yeah, it's good hearing from all them, and yeah, everyone's pretty proud. So no, it's great.
That's fantastic. And Regan, for those who aren't aware, whereabouts are you based at the moment, and how many have you got in the team at this stage?
So just training at David and Catherine Butt's place at Woodend Beach, and yeah, we've got 20 in training at present, and yeah, we sort of vary between 20 and 25. Just numbers sort of fluctuate a bit, and it just depends how they're all going really, and what's happening.
So I'd imagine from now on though, those numbers might start to climb.
Yeah, hopefully, and then it'll be nice if we can get another Showgate come up the driveway.
Fantastic, and it's been such a roller coaster with her, isn't it? Because you almost think back, it seems like it was only yesterday that she was giving Dave Miller a win at Addington, and now she's a Breeders' Crown champion. Yeah.
It was. I think she had her first start in the start of January at Timaru, and it was a wet, spicy track, and he was actually. Yeah, Bobby Butt said to me, he goes, I think you have not a bad horse there, mate. There was a good run, and I sort of didn't think much of it. But when David Miller drove her, she went super, and yeah, she's sort of just gone on from there, really.
Brilliant. And what are the plans for her going forward now? Because I guess the world's your oyster. Will she tip out for a bit of a spell or carry on?
Yeah, she's going to have a couple months out, Jess, and we're just going to look after her, really. She's had a big season, so yeah. She's raced since January right through, really, just had wee spells here and there. So we'll look after her. She's been good to us, so we'll be good to her now.
And it sounds like you might need to be good to yourself, Regan, and after this trip to Aussie, you might need a holiday yourself.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a working holiday, but yeah, no, it's been a great experience, and yeah, very, very fortunate for all the good staff I got back at home, and they've done a great job since I've been away, really.
Brilliant. Well, we won't hold you up any longer, Regan. We'll let you get back to your well-earned celebrations and what's left of your holiday. But on behalf of our listeners, congratulations on a wonderful success with Showgate, and I'm sure many more Group 1 wins to come.
Thanks very much, Jess.
Time of the racing season when we celebrate everything of the season just been, and always popular on the calendar is the Northern Harness Awards. Raelene Balle is very busy on the committee. Raelene, how are the organisation details coming along up there?
Yes, everything's going pretty well. Nothing untoward, so just we're looking forward to another fantastic night. So we've done this for a few years now, so hopefully we've ticked everything off that we need to do to make it a really successful night.
I'm always intrigued how people get roped into doing these kinds of events, Raelene. Who got you on board initially?
The previous person that used to do it obviously stepped down from it, and I'm actually not sure who was initially contacted. I think it might have been Suzanne Hurley, and then a group of them kind of just got together and they rang me and said, "I'll just pop down for a meeting." And 12 years later, we're still going. So it's good. We have a lot of fun. We love organising it, and we enjoy a really good night out. So it's, certainly not a chore. We do enjoy it.
Oh, that is fantastic. Well done to the group because, sometimes it can be a bit of a thankless task, but I'd imagine it's a well-oiled machine now.
Yes, yeah, hopefully we are keeping things exciting every year. That's the challenge, basically, is to try and think of new and different ideas because we love a good laugh on the night and certainly making it an enjoyable event along with, of course, adding the awards into it.
Would you say that's been the key to success around the Northern Awards because they have a massive reputation and are always well patronised?
Yeah, we do definitely take things quite lightheartedly. We love having a good time and a bit of a joke. Sometimes the funny moments just happen with someone making a funny comment or an interview comment while they're on stage, and we also do plot a few little things from time to time to get that interest level and the belly laughter. So we do try and think of different things to do every year, and but obviously you still got to stick to the basics and get everything right with meals and the whole package.
Well, I take my hat off to you. You do a stellar job. And talking about the awards, they held Saturday 1st of September, so this weekend upcoming. And can people still purchase their tickets, Raelene?
Yes, absolutely. We take bookings right up until the day, so if anyone hasn't got their tickets, and we do find just, people are busy and it tends to get put on the back burner of organising tickets. So Suzanne Hurley is the person to contact if people would like tickets, and no problem, we're still booking this week. It's never too late.
Okay, so tickets are $130 per head, and that does include a fabulous 3-course dinner, beer, wine, spirits and juices, and a live band afterwards. But really special to note too that sponsorship has helped cover the juniors and cadets.
Oh, absolutely. We are extremely grateful for the Auckland Trotting Club sponsoring the registered junior drivers and cadets. It's a real helping hand for them, and they come along and enjoy the night. It's been a really successful formula for us. The previous junior drivers and cadets, like Josh Dickey and Zach Butcher and Simon Lawson, where they got their tickets sponsored quite a few years ago. Now they come along to the event and often are buying full tables of people to attend. So that's, it's been a really good flow-on effect from that initial sponsorship that they had, that they do get. And also, I think that the kids do really they are really grateful for it. They do dress up, and the girls go to a lot of trouble with dresses and hair and everything, and the boys look fantastic. So they don't take it for granted, and they know it is a privilege, and they are very grateful for it.
I guess is one of the main pointers too, Raelene, is that given how hard people work and how few chances they get to socialise and let their hair down, then award ceremonies like this are an integral part of the industry.
Yes, very much so, and I think that's when we sit back on the night, and once all the formalities are over, you do actually see that, at the races, everyone is always quite busy. You say hi, but you keep on walking because you're working. And the same at the trials. You might have a quick cup of coffee and a chat, but everyone is obviously very busy, and getting the horses on the track is the most important part of that job at the time. So when you do get a chance just to sit back and relax and actually have a catch up and with people that you may not see very often during the year, and that's, I love sitting back and looking at people enjoying that and just having the chance to converse with others in the industry and keep those connections. Yeah.
Beautifully said, Raelene. The Always Be Mickey 2018 North Island Harness Racing Awards this Saturday is the 1st of September, Tasman Room, Alexandra Park. You can get tickets with Suzanne Hurley, 027 407 1057. Raelene, thank you so much, not only for your time today, but for what you're doing for the industry, and I'm sure it will be a raving success once again.
Thank you, Jess. Yeah, we hope so.
One of the new training partnerships in the Deep South this racing season is Kirstin, Barclay and Paul Allison. Recently, they collected their first win in a training partnership. Joining me is Kirstin Barclay. Kirstin, congratulations on the recent win and the partnership forming.
Oh, thank you very much, Jess. It's been good so far.
Absolutely. And can you tell our listeners what prompted you to form this training partnership with Paul Ellis?
We've been working in together for a little while. I've had a couple older horses out at the beach with Paul, Tank, and I've had been doing a few of his young ones at my place. So we've sort of been working together for a wee while, and we get on really well and have a few laughs and that. So we just sort of thought, we'll go in together, and Ox McEwen and Tom Kilkelly, our main owners, and that were right behind us. And we just thought we'd give it a real good kick and see what we could do.
And what do you think are some of the advantages in terms of pooling your talents together?
Well, Tank is really good with the older horse, reviving them and just getting them happy and giving them a new lease on life on the beach. And my skills are sort of, we do a lot of breaking in and like schooling up the younger horses. So I think with us together, it's sort of, you're getting a good kick at everything.
Yeah, great. And as you say, Kirstin, you've obviously been working alongside each other for a while now, so everyone gets along, the communication's good, and it was a natural step?
Yeah, it really was. We sort of talked about it on and off for a little while, and then, at the start of the season, we had a young boy, James Forbes, come and work for us, and either one of us couldn't have taken him on individually. We didn't have enough work, but together we had enough work for everyone, and we really like him. So, along with Tyler and Nikki that works for us. So, just sort of a really good team, like a really good team of people around us, and like with working together, it all works.
Fantastic. And Kirstin, whereabouts are you and Tank based these days, and how many do you have in work?
There's about 37 on the cards at the moment. The majority of them at the moment are at the Tisbury barn. There's about 12 at the beach property. We're looking to put a wee jog track in at the beach and use that as well and up the numbers at the beach a bit. Just the way our beach setup is, they've all got to go on the cart individually or be ridden. We can't take leaders or anything, so you sort of can't have too many out there at the moment with working and with tides and working in at Tisbury. There's only so many hours in the day.
Yeah, I'd imagine. And of course, you're quite busy balancing being a wife and a mother as well. So I'd imagine being in a partnership would really help in that aspect.
Yeah, it's actually been great. Just taking a little bit of the pressure off me. I'm actually away with my best friend Holly to Melbourne for 5 days away, and it's so good actually just being able to walk away and not worry about having to organise everything, and just Tank's very capable at doing all that, so just leaving that with him, and just with those extra hands now, if I've got sports with the kids or things you need to do, you can just go and do it. So no, it's been a massive asset for me, kids wise, and just freeing up a little bit more time for that work-life balance.
And Kirstin, I'm always fascinated to find out how people got involved in harness racing, because your story is one of the more rare tales where you actually had no family background and literally just stumbled into it, really, didn't you?
Yeah, I loved horses. We never had our own horses. I always managed to borrow a pony and go to pony club, and had an old standard bred that I ended up going to pony club on. And we moved around a wee bit, and when we moved into St Clair, it was just down the road from Forbury, and as a kid, just walked down there one day and just ended up sort of hanging around and quite liked it, and got to know a few of the trainers and harassed them and got them to let me have a drive and teach me, and I just grew a real passion for it.
And you went to the Southern Institute of Technology, and you were actually studying to do something else, weren't you?
Yeah, I sort of started race driving, and I wasn't very well skilled up at that stage, and it was just sort of going okay, and then I thought, I'll do sports massage. So I moved down to SIT to do that, and it was a part-time course. So I looked for some part-time work while I was there, and got employed by Doug McLaughlin, and that's really where my career took off. Like, Doug just took me in and treated me as a daughter, and just gave me so many opportunities. I won the Premier Junior Drivers Premiership while I was working for him, and just everything I've done is really thanks to him and the opportunities that he gave me. And so needless to say, the sports massage went by the wayside when the horses started going good. And I just forever thankful for Doug and everything he did for me to get me started, and everyone else along the way.
It sounds like Southland is a real family base in terms of harness racing, and a great place for people to hone their skills and build a bit of a base.
Oh, definitely. Like, everybody down here is just so nice, so good. Like, everybody wants to help you. There's not a day that you don't go to the workout, so you're like, oh man, I'm having an issue with this one, and you talk to another trainer, like, give you advice, and everybody's just really helpful and wants to see everybody get ahead. There's no sort of negativity really. Like, if you've got a problem, you can ask anyone, and they'll help you out. All the trainers down here is really helpful.
Oh, that's great to hear. And Kirstin, just finally, and I know you're busy and you're in the middle of doing jobs, but what are your goals going forward as a trainer now? Obviously, in this partnership with Tank, you can aim at some larger numbers, but have you got any major goals for yourself as a horsewoman?
Yeah, just to develop some young stock and get to that next level as a trainer. We've got a few goals set for the season now. Just sort of keeping to myself at the moment, but we've got some really nice yearlings and young stock coming through that over the next couple of seasons. You'd like to think that you could get to the next level with them, and have a look at some of the age group racing and group races and that. So that's sort of that's a bit of an aim, just to keep improving the strike rate, improving what we do, and hopefully get to that next level.
And you'd be open, Kirstin, if anyone's contemplating sending their horse south or trying a new environment, you're open to phone calls?
Oh, definitely, and I think we're pretty well around Invercargill Southland. We're the only professional beach set up that's actually set up on the beach. So, we're always, if you think your horse needs a change of scenery or something like that, we're always open to take on new ones.
Brilliant. Well, congratulations on your first win with Tank in the partnership, and I'm sure there'll be many, many more to come, Kirstin.
Thanks very much, Jess.
Well, time now for that stage of the podcast where we chat with harness bookmaker Richard Wilson. Richard, turning our minds back to Thursday last week at Addington, and looked as though the best backed horse on the program there was Pro Surfer in race 5.
It certainly was, Jess. Another Thursday at Addington. Don't have too many of them, but Pro Surfer certainly caught the imagination of the punters. There were $1,000 bets at his opening price of $3.10, $3, and also $2.80. And so we snipped him in a bit more, and 4,000 came on at $2.50, 1,900 and 1,700, both at $2.20. So all the way in from $3.10 to $2.20, and it was a very good run. Two horses cut away, but he was far too good. So punters off to a very good start to the week there. Good to see the open class paces back in action too, Jess. That race there was $4,600 bet on Captain Dolmio. He was at $2.30. He was the best backed in the race, but not far behind was the Fixer. There weren't the large bets on him, but there was certainly a great number of bets. So the total hold very similar, those two horses. The Fixer opened 3 into $2.50, and punters also got some other decent collects from the likes of a $2,000 bet on Deloncum at $3.50, $2,000 also on Nakura at $3.30, $1,000 on Celtic, whichever one you like, at $5.50, and a couple that went our way were $3,000 on Just Dance at $3.40, and there were two $3,000 bets, Kingslayer at $2.20, also a $2,800 bet, Scarlet Banner at $2.40, and a $2,000 bet, Tokyo Joe at $3.80.
Well, it sounds like there was just enough there to get you out in one piece. And Friday night, Alexandra Park, 3 strongly backed runners there at the park.
Yes, it definitely were. The worst of them for us, anyway, the best for the punters, To Sir With Love. This one opened at $4.50 and was smashed into $2.50. There was $700 on very early on at the 450, followed by 1,000 at 340, was the largest of the rest, but gee, there were plenty of bets on her, and she got home well. The other two, Dream Major, 160 on debut. We sort of thought that might be reasonably short enough, but no way. Right into 128 at the off Jess, $3,000 and $1,000 bets at the 160, and there were plenty of other bets all the way in there. A lot of multis going through that 128, so good result there for punters. And the other one, the third one, Mac Shard, opened at $3 into 270. There was $1,000 bet and just under. There was a lot of $800, $900 bets on him, so at around that 280, 270. So punters got the money there. There were a couple of decent bets that didn't come off, luckily for us. $3,000 on Great Fantasy at 270 and $2,000 on New York Rain at also at 270.
Yeah, you would have thought $1.60 would be plenty for Dream Major, but not so. And down to your old stomping ground, Gore, on Sunday in Southland. How did that pan out for you?
Yeah, well, it wasn't too bad. Early on, anyway, we were going along great guns, and then in the back of my mind, though, there was always a nasty end to the day. Stun gun, Jess. This one was smashed when he resumed at Rangiora a couple of weeks ago, and the same thing happened again. There was $3,000 on at his opening quote of $1.65, followed by $8,000 and $4,000 bets, and then another couple of $2,000 bets also at the 150. So I'm not too sure how it happened, but he actually paid $1.90 on the tote. When I was looking at my book, I was tossing up whether to go 145 or not, and the tote's 190. So crazy scenes there, really. But if the tote had the money I had, it would have been closer to 135 probably. So your punters got the money there, and a couple of other winners provided punters with good returns. They weren't the favourites. Grace O'Malley, $6.20 into $5.80, and the croupier was $9 into $5.80 as well. So those two, some good $500 bets on those ones. And there was a $5,000 bet on the croupier just to run in the top three at $1.95. So that would have been a very easy watch for that punter, getting a nice trail there and scooting through to actually win the race. But the top three never in doubt there. Luckily for us, there was two or three standout favourites that were scratched. They were looking good things at the start of the day, but they were scratched before the markets opened. Made it a little bit difficult to know exactly how we should have adjusted the markets, but in the end, there were some well-back favourites that went down early on. Mongolian Spear strongly backed around the 160, including a $3,000 bet at 165. TC Business wasn't backed early at the 350, but once I got out to 4, the money certainly piled on, 4 back into 380, and the other one, Triple VC, it was well light, Jess, 480 into 450, and also Benayo Ben, 350 into 270, and there was a $2,000 bet on him at 280. So those ones missing out provided a reasonable day for us in the end at Gore.
Yeah, it looked like a mixed bag, all right. And Breeders' Crown, yeah, good to see Southern success there.
Yeah, Regan Todd, he's a good Southland boy. One of my earliest memories as a kid is bringing a horse in from the paddock with Dad when I was about 5 at Regan's grandfather's place, Ray Todd, in Wyndham, just before we shifted to Winton. So yeah, good to see Regan get the Group 1 win there, first of many I'm sort of predicting. Yeah, it was a bit hard for our bookmakers there. The Aussie boys found it a bit tough. It's a bit like our Jules Day, a lot of short price favourites getting home there, so the punter's definitely on top. But good to see a couple of Group 1 wins for New Zealand anyway.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. And in terms of futures, as we look to our feature races, are those markets still ticking along nicely, Richard?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a movement there on the fifth. He was $10 before his resuming win, so he's into $8.50. Dream About Me stayed the same at her $10 quote, and Captain Domio was into 10. He moved out to 12. Just perhaps a touch disappointing, but for a first up run, I'm sure he'll improve on that, as he'll probably need to. So Ultimate Machete still on top of the market there at $4.50. Chicago Bull 7, Jack's Legend 8, and the Fixer $8.50. and then you're out to double figures for the remainder. And the Dominion's ticking away well. It's sort of pretty quiet there on the trotting front, and the Inter-Dominions, there's not much happening there either, really, but those ones are open there, options 1995 and 1996.
Okay, tab.co.nz to check out those markets. And multi of the week, Richard, what have you found for us?
A little $50 multi here, Jess, 6 legs, so tough to get to the end, but 3 of them top 3 and 3 of them to win. Cruisy Dude to run the top 3 at 160, George's Baron to run the top 3 135, Dream Major at the 150, so just after the 160 opening. To Sir With Love at 290, so that was halfway through the moves on that one. Away and Ride Yourself at $2 and ended on Max Shard at $3, so that returned $50 into 2,819.
You would have had to hold your breath a few times through that, though. Quite a long multi. Richard, thank you very much for your time as always. Really appreciate it. Have you got anything planned for your day off?
Not a lot really, Jess. Just take it a little bit easy today.
Oh, good on you. You've had such a hard week, haven't you?
Well, only 3 meetings, so it's for the calm before the storm, I think.
Thank you, Richard. We'll catch you next week.
Yeah, very good, Jess. Thank you.
And what's coming up this week in the harness racing world? On Thursday night, we've got the Waikato Bay of Plenty racing featuring the Te Awa Mutu Cup. Friday night, Addington Raceway sees the first New Zealand Cup build-up race with the Morris Homes Vase. And on Sunday, Forbury Park hold a day meeting this coming Sunday. Don't forget, in terms of our ownership events, it's Canterbury's turn to host an Owners' Night Trial, which will be held at Addington Raceway on Friday the 7th of September. All owners and potential owners are invited to attend this free event, and trainers wishing to network and also equine businesses are encouraged to attend also. For more information, you can contact me directly, jess@hrnz.co.nz. Plus, everyone who RSVPs before August 31st, that's this Friday, will get 4 free tickets to the Canterbury vs Manawatu rugby match on Thursday 6th of September. And don't forget also, HRNZ Awards tickets are on sale now via hrnz.co.nz. And that's it for this week's Harness Half Hour, thanks to HRNZ Marketing. The Harness Half Hour podcast is now available on the Punters Lounge on tab.co.nz, Spotify and also iTunes.